Have you ever realized that the truly unstoppable people in this world, the ones who dominate their craft, never waste breath talking about motivation? They don't wake up buzzing with inspiration every morning. They don't sit around waiting for the stars to align or the perfect mood to strike. They just show up day after day and handle what needs to be handled. No excuses, no bargaining. While others are still hoping for that sudden rush of energy, these legends have already put in the work. While the rest of the world scrolls through motivational clips on YouTube chasing a quick high, these people have already trained, studied, created, and delivered. And when someone finally asks them, "How do you stay so consistent?" the answer is never about fleeting emotions. It's about something far older, far more ancient, and infinitely more powerful. In 10th century Japan, during the Heian era, there existed a principle that separated mere men from true immortals of history. This principle wasn't rooted in raw physical power or superior intellect. It was rooted in what the Japanese called Yamato Damashii, the unbreakable Japanese spirit, the inner fire that drives the body forward even when the mind screams to quit. This spirit forged warriors who were virtually invincible. It produced leaders who reshaped entire eras. And centuries later, it was tragically twisted during World War II when the government weaponized for propaganda and blind nationalism. But the true, original essence of Yamato Damashii had nothing to do with conquest or empire. It was about one brutal, life-changing truth: duty triumphs over feeling. Today, you're going to learn what this ancient principle truly means and how it can turn you from someone who knows everything yet achieves nothing into someone who simply cannot stop moving forward. But first, let me tell you the story of a man who possessed all the knowledge in the world, yet lacked the courage to ever use it. Before we dive in, I need to make one thing crystal clear. There are two kinds of motivation. There's cheap motivation, what we can call excitement, and then there's the real force that actually moves mountains, which the ancients called something deeper. If you watch my last video, you already know what I'm referring to. In this one, we're going to expose how excitement alone will never get you to the destination you truly deserve. I'm making this clear right from the beginning so there's no confusion later. Before we continue, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and drop a comment below. What's the one action you keep postponing in your life? What's that goal you already know exactly how to achieve, yet you keep chasing more information instead of just doing it? Leave your answer, and also take a moment to help others in the comments. Maybe you have experience or advice they need. Let's build a community of people who lift each other up and actually want everyone to win. Thank you for your time and focus. Now, back to the story. Chapter 1. The Man Who Knew Everything and Achieved Nothing. Year 950, Heian period, Japan. Tadayoshi was only 24, yet he had already devoured more scrolls and texts than most scholars twice his age. Born into a noble family, he had unlimited access to imported Chinese classics, Buddhist sutras, and the profound teachings of Confucius. While other young aristocrats spent their days drinking, composing poetry, and chasing pleasure, Tadayoshi immersed himself in military strategy, battlefield tactics, and the deep philosophy of warfare. His dream was grand, to become a legendary warrior, perhaps even a general who would alter the course of Japanese history. But he suffered from one fatal flaw. He could not bring himself to act. Every morning, Tadayoshi awoke with ambitious fire in his chest. Today would be different. Today he would finally begin serious training. Today he would grip his sword and drill until his palms bled. But then something always derailed him. He would discover another scroll, another advanced technique he hadn't yet mastered completely. And he would think, how can I possibly train without first understanding the theory perfectly? So he read, he analyzed, he memorized. And by the time he felt ready, the sun had already set. Tomorrow, he told himself, tomorrow I'll begin for real. The household staff began to whisper. Fellow nobles mocked him behind closed doors. Tadayoshi, the warrior of parchment, they sneered. He can defeat you with quotes, but never with steel. The mockery stung because it was true. He possessed enough theoretical knowledge to command entire armies, yet he himself had never broken a real sweat, never felt the deep burn of exhausted muscles, never endured the raw discomfort that transforms theory into mastery. One evening his father, a stern, battle-hardened advisor to lords, looked at him with cold disappointment and said words that shattered any man's pride. "You have the mind of a general and the spirit of a clerk. Knowledge without action is meaningless. You are a shadow pretending to be substance." Tadayoshi could not sleep that night. His father's words thundered in his skull. He knew they were undeniable. All those years of study, all that accumulated wisdom, and he remained exactly the same, hesitant, soft, imprisoned in his own thoughts. The next morning, something shifted. He did not open a single scroll. He walked out. Chapter 2. The Encounter in the Woods. Tadayoshi wandered without direction through the dense forest near the family estate. The air was crisp and cold. The sun had only just begun to rise. He didn't know what he sought. Perhaps clarity, perhaps another excuse to return to his safe world of books. Then he heard it. A steady, relentless rhythm. Steel slicing air, wood striking wood. He followed the sound to a small clearing, and there he saw an older man, perhaps 50, with grey-streaked hair tied simply, his skin etched with old scars. The man moved with a wooden bokken, repeating the exact same sequence again and again, hundreds of repetitions, same strike, same stance, same breath. Tadayoshi watched, completely captivated. There was no drama on the man's face, no sign of struggle or satisfaction, just pure, unbroken mechanical motion. When the man finally paused, Tadayoshi stepped forward. "Master," he said respectfully, not even knowing if the title was earned, "I have observed your training. Your discipline is unlike anything I've witnessed. Please, teach me." The man sized him up. Fine silk robes, smooth hands, the posture of someone untouched by labor. "No," he replied flatly, and turned to leave. "Wait," Tadayoshi pleaded desperately. "I have studied every technique. I know Sun Tzu. I know the campaigns of ancient Chinese generals. I can learn fast." The man paused. He turned slowly, eyes like sharpened blades. "You know techniques? Excellent. Then go use them." And he walked away. Something ignited inside Tadayoshi. Shame, rage, desperation. "Please," he called out. "I need to change. I need to become more than this." The man stopped again. This time he was silent for a long while. Finally, without facing him, he said, "You will quit." "I won't," Tadayoshi shot back instantly. "Everyone quits. You will too." The man turned fully now, studying the young noble's face. He saw raw desperation, but desperation alone was never enough. Desperation was just another emotion, and emotions fade. Still, perhaps this boy needed to learn the hard way, to more. "Row," the man said, "before the sun rises. Here, if you appear, I will consider teaching you. If you don't, never return." Tadayoshi nodded eagerly. "I'll be here. I swear it." The man almost smirked. "Swear all you want. Words are wind." Chapter 3. The First Trial. Tadayoshi barely slept. Every time he drifted off, he saw the old man's hardened face and heard the prophecy, "You will quit." He refused to prove him right. He arrived in the clearing an hour before dawn, cold, dark, shivering. He waited until the first light touched the treetops. Then, silently, the man materialized like a spirit. He glanced at Tadayoshi with an unreadable expression. Surprise? Disappointment? "You came," the man observed. "It wasn't praise, it was fact." "I said I would." "Words again," the man muttered. "Today we'll see if you have anything beyond words." What followed was pure torment. The man, who finally introduced himself as Kaido, began with the basics. A fundamental stance, low crouch, knees bent, back straight, arms extended holding the wooden sword. "This is the root of all technique," he explained. "How long?" Tadayoshi asked. "Until I say otherwise." 2 minutes in, Tadayoshi's thighs trembled. 5 minutes in, cold sweat broke out. 10 minutes in, every muscle begged for relief. "Master, Quiet." Kaido interrupted from his shaking uncontrollably. He looked up, hoping for sympathy, encouragement. He received only cold judgment. 15 minutes, Kaido said. And you're already broken. Do you think wars last 15 minutes? Do you think opponents pause because you're uncomfortable? Tadayoshi hung high. Ed, shame flooding him. Go home, Kaido said, rising. You don't have it. Something snapped awake inside Tadayoshi. No, he forced out, pushing himself back into stance on quivering legs. I'll do it again. Kaido regarded him with fresh curiosity. You think this burst of anger will carry you? This feeling will vanish by tomorrow. You'll wake up and dread coming back. I'll return, Tadayoshi insisted. Why? Kaido asked, not rhetorically but as a genuine test. Tadayoshi opened his mouth and had no real answer. Why would he return? Because he wanted to prove something? Because he felt ashamed? Those were just feelings, and Kaido was right. Feelings fade. You don't know, Kaido said, and until you do, you won't endure. He began to leave. Wait, Tadayoshi shouted. Then tell me why I should return. Kaido halted. He turned slowly. Because it is your duty. Duty? Tadayoshi echoed, confused. Duty to whom? To yourself, to the man you declared you would become. Motivation is emotion, duty is command. Emotions shift like clouds, duty stands firm in any storm. Kaido took one more step, then paused again. We Japanese have a name for it, Yamato Damashii, the Japanese spirit. It's not about wanting to do it, it's about doing it because it defines who you are. Chapter 4, The Second Day and the True Lesson. Tadayoshi returned the next dawn, not because he felt inspired. His body screamed in protest. Every step was pain, every muscle ached. But Kaido's words echoed, duty stands firm in any storm. Kaido was already waiting. This time his expression held something new, not warmth but acknowledgement. You returned, he said. I said I would. Yesterday you said it with fire. Today you say it with exhaustion. Which is more honest? Tadayoshi considered. Today, he admitted. Yesterday you rode excitement. Today you walk duty. One evaporates, the other end. Ires. Kaido ordered the same stance as before. This time he spoke while Tadayoshi suffered. Yamato Damashii isn't something you feel, it's something you do until it becomes who you are. I will teach you. What did all your precious books actually teach you? Kaido asked as the burn intensified. Grand strategies? Tadayoshi gritted out. Tactics, formations, philosophies. And did that make you a warrior? No. Why not? Tadayoshi couldn't answer immediately. Pain consumed him. Because I never acted. Half true, Kaido said. All that Chinese learning is valuable. The classics offer strategy, insight, wisdom. But there's an ancient truth. Knowledge is of little use without Yamato Damashii. Tadayoshi's legs began to buckle again. Do you understand what that means? Kaido pressed. It means you can know every way to win every war ever fought. But if you lack the spirit to step onto the battlefield, that knowledge is dead. Yamato Damashii is the spirit that breathes life into knowledge. It's the force that keeps moving when every instinct begs to stop. Tadayoshi collapsed. 20 minutes this time, 5 more than yesterday. Kaido nodded. Progress. Not because your flesh grew stronger overnight. It didn't. You progressed because you began to grasp that pain is not the true enemy. Hesitation is. Later scholars of samurai culture would explain that Yamato Damashii in the Heian era was never about militarism for its own sake. It was the recognition that imported intellectual brilliance needed native practical spirit to become real power. The Japanese saw that studying foreign theory was essential, but without the inner drive to act decisively, that theory remained barren. It was the difference between knowing how to swim and actually jumping into the water. Chapter 5. The Lesson of the Freezing River. On the third day, Tadayoshi arrived precisely at dawn. Kaido W. as waiting, but they did not remain in the clearing. Today, you will learn the gap between doing it when you feel like it and doing it because you must. Kaido said, follow. They walked to a swift, icy mountain river. Kaido pointed to a large rock in the center of the current. You will stand upon that rock in fighting stance until I release you. Tadayoshi stared at the freezing water. For how long? Until you comprehend. Tadayoshi waded in. The cold stabbed like daggers. He leapt onto the rock, slipped, nearly plunged, but caught balance. He assumed the stance. Water swirled around his calves. 5 minutes, uncontrollable, shivering. 10 minutes, numb feet. 15 minutes, panic rising. Every cell screamed, "Escape!" He looked to Kaido on the bank. The old master sat motionless, watching. "Master!" Tadayoshi yelled over the roar. "I can't endure this." "Your ancestors endured far worse," Kaido shouted back. They stood in blood-soaked fields for days. They marched with gaping wounds. They fought until their final heartbeat. "And you cannot tolerate cold water? But why?" Tadayoshi cried. "Why must I suffer this?" "Because it is your duty," Kaido thundered, voice carrying through the trees. "You begged me to teach you. You declared you would become a warrior. That was not a suggestion, it was a vow, and vows demand duty." Tadayoshi closed his eyes. Tears mixed with river spray. He imagined quitting, walking away. It would be so easy. Then he saw his father's disappointed face, heard the noble's laughter, remembered years wasted in books while nothing changed. He was done being that man. The cold did not vanish. The agony did not vanish. But something inside shifted. He stopped resisting the suffering. He accepted it. "I am here because I choose this path. I remain because I must." Time blurred. Finally, Kaido shouted, "Enough! Come out!" Tadayoshi leapt off, legs barely functional. Kaido helped him to a prepared fire. 45 minutes, Kaido announced. Tadayoshi stared in shock. It had felt like eternity. "Do you see what happened?" Kaido asked. "For the first 15 minutes you battled the cold. It drained you. Then you surrendered to it. You accepted the suffering as your duty. And paradoxically, it grew bearable. Not because the cold lessened, but because you stopped layering mental torment on top of physical pain." Kaido fed the flames. "This is Yamato Damashii. It's not about never feeling pain or cold or fear. It's about refusing to let those feelings command your actions. You felt everything, yet you stayed, because duty does not bargain with discomfort." Chapter 6. The Master reveals the origin. That evening, Kaido allowed Tadayoshi to return home early, but first they sat by the riverbank, listening to the endless rush of water. "Do you know why I introduced you to Yamato Damashii?" Kaido asked. Tadayoshi shook his head. "Because you are exactly the kind of man this concept was born to rescue." Kaido gazed at the emerging stars. "Long ago, our nobles devoured Chinese classics, Buddhism, Confucianism, military theory, philosophy. Many became brilliant minds, but too many became like you, masters of theory, slaves to inaction, knowledge without spirit, study without execution. Our ancestors saw the danger. They needed a word for what separated those who merely knew from those who actually did. It wasn't enough to possess Karazukai, foreign learning. You needed Yamato Damashii, the native soul that forces action even when desire is absent. It was never about rejecting foreign wisdom," Kaido continued. "It was about completing it. Knowledge is the blade, spirit is the hand that wields it. You can own the finest sword ever forged, but without the will to draw it, it's just decorative steel." Tadayoshi absorbed every syllable. "Do you grasp the profound truth our ancestors uncovered?" Kaido asked. "Real wisdom, the kind that solves actual problems, makes hard choices under pressure, acts when action is required, does not come from scrolls alone. It comes from doing, from showing up, from fulfilling duty when every fiber wants to flee." Yamato Damashii was that bridge, the difference between the scholar who debates war and the warrior who wages it, between the poet who romanticizes courage and the man who lives it, between the Tadayoshi of 3 days ago and the one sitting here now. Chapter 7. The Great Temptation, Week 2. Tadayoshi had made visible strides. He held stances longer. His body began adapting. Then came the ultimate test. The full moon festival arrived, the grand celebration of the elite. Music, poetry, endless sake, beautiful company. Tadayoshi received a formal invitation. The night before the 8th training day, sleep evaded him, not from excitement, but from inner war. He had trained 7 straight days. One night off wouldn't erase progress, right? He had earned enjoyment. On the morning of day 8, he did not appear in the clearing. Kaido waited. He watched the sun climb fully. Tadayoshi never came. Tadayoshi was home, sleeping off a night of indulgence. When he awoke, crushing guilt hit instantly. 1 week, just 1 week, and he had already crumbled. The next dawn, he approached the clearing expecting emptiness. Kaido would surely have abandoned him. "I'm sorry. Please allow me to continue." "It was a mistake." "It was a decision," Kaido corrected. "You chose comfort over duty, pleasure over our promise. And that proves you still do not grasp Yamato Damashii. You still believe it's acceptable when convenient." Kaido turned to depart. "Wait," Tadayoshi begged. "One more chance. I truly understand now." "Do you?" Kaido turned back. "Then define Yamato Damashii for me." Tadayoshi drew a deep breath. "It's doing the work even when I don't feel like it. Partial truth. Go deeper. It's placing duty above emotion. That's the result, not the core. Deeper." Tadayoshi closed his eyes, replaying every painful lesson. Then it struck him. It's identity. It's who I am, not merely what I do. When I skip training, I'm not breaking a routine. I'm betraying the man I declared myself to be. Kaido was quieter L,